In the history of video games, there have been a lot of weird controller designs trying to accomplish all sorts of stuff, and we've covered a few of those in the past, but something we haven't talked about before is times where it actually worked, sometimes really well, and one of those controllers is this weird little guy right here, the neGcon from Namco. Released back in 1995 for the PlayStation 1, the reason this exists is because Namco made a game called Cyber Sleds for the arcade that they ported to the PlayStation 1, and they wanted something that would recapture the arcade-style controls that it had, which featured a pair of levers, and so the way they would do that with a controller is this twisting motion right here, which is why it's called the neGcon, because in Japan, nejiru means to twist. Nejire. By the way, I love the way they actually branded this guy where there's a little twist symbol right here, and that's also the G. I mean, yeah, a lot of people probably call it the neocon on accident, but it's kind of a pun, and I love that. Now, obviously, the big weird thing about this controller is the twist action, which acts as going left or right on a control stick. But there's a couple other odd things about it too. For one thing, it's missing a lot of buttons. PlayStation 1 controllers obviously had the set of 4 shoulder buttons. This guy just has 2 up here. And on the front side, some of these buttons are actually analog, not just simply digital ones. So the ones right here that normally would be square and X are now these actual analog buttons you can press down and feel the full motion of. It's also missing a select button. So obviously, this would not work well for a number of games, but something that people discovered is that while this does work for Cyber Sleds as intended, another genre it makes a lot of sense for is racing games. It turns out that the twisting mechanic meant for driving a hover tank is actually really appropriate for any kind of vehicle-based game. So a lot of the racing games in the PlayStation 1 and even some jet-based games all used this controller and supported it, and it worked really well. A lot of people preferred using this over the official PlayStation 1 controller. So we're gonna test it out. I just hooked up my PS1 and let's see how this goes. Quick disclaimer, I'm just terrible at any kind of serious racing game anyways, so this is not gonna be pretty either way. Oh no, it starts in like actual driver view. I'm bad at that. How do I switch to car? Nope, that's rear view. There we go, okay. I can see the car now. I just made all the racing game fans cringe. So obviously the neGcon's missing some buttons, but for a lot of older racing games, all you really need to care about is accelerate, brake, and turn. So all I need are these two and this, I think. This is actually kind of really intuitive. Like, it just gives the idea of, yeah, just twist for turning, like turning a wheel. This is all bad now. No, I take everything back. Okay, here we go. Now, something that's cool about this guy too that people kind of learned and figured out over time was that, yeah, you can't hold it and use it like a traditional controller, and that's definitely the way a lot of people are going to use it out of the box. But depending on the game you're playing, since you really only care about 2 buttons and the twisting mechanism, you could also do something like switch to a grip like this, where you're hitting the buttons and you have a more kind of just natural turn feeling. You're not twisting both, you're just twisting the one. And I'm doing actually a lot worse now that I started doing that, because I was probably talking at the same time. There we go. Yeah, so this gives you a little more natural feel of just turning a wheel or something instead of twisting both sides at the same time. Yeah, this is actually really cool. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest, we first ordered this thing just because we thought it looked ridiculous, and now that I'm actually using it, this is really awesome. So, I am still very bad at these games, but I will say, all the problems I'm having are definitely because of me and not this controller. I actually think I'm doing a little better because of it. What really stands out to me about the neGcon is this idea of a super specialized controller design for a specific kind of game in mind that works really well, because you know, most modern controllers, especially with the mainline ones that come with systems, these are designed to be one size fits all. It's something that's going to be comfortable and work for racing games, fighting games, action adventure, RPG, whatever. This is going to work and make sense. But something like this is so much more unique and specialized, where they actually had to come up with more weird, innovative ideas to make it work. I mean, you have some things today that are specialized, like for racing games, yeah, you can get a full-blown wheel, or fighting games have fight sticks and a few fight pads, but something like this, where they actually come up with a unique, awkward solution for something that's going to work for a specific kind of game with this mechanism, you just don't really get that anymore. Now, of course, there are good reasons why you don't see stuff like this all the time, because it can be expensive to invest in a weird, unique idea like this and have it not pay off. But there are plenty of examples in the past too, where weird peripherals have paid off big time. I mean, we have entire franchises built around the idea of using odd controllers. I mean, just look back at Rock Band and Guitar Hero. You're using this guitar or drum kit that just acts like a controller, and yeah, you could play with a controller and just have it be a rhythm game, but that changes the entire way that you interact with it and makes it a more fun experience. And this is something that to me is super important because games are awesome, but if everything boils down to using the same control scheme and everything, it starts to get a little repetitive. And so the idea of these different weird peripherals that change the way we play really keeps things interesting. I don't think that time is over and gone yet. You know, I mean, look at the Switch. The Joy-Cons are by no means traditional controllers, and while they can kind of work like one on their own, there's all kinds of ways that you could incorporate those with other accessories to change the way we play games. And I am just super excited about that possibility.